Before we start today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to Buzz TV. Man, Buzz TV has some really good devices, man. Like this last year, they've come up with some good stuff, and this new year, I'm excited to see what they got.
Yo, it's going to be straight fire. Some devices and features, because I don't want to say one or the other. With Buzz TV, it's hand in hand. They've dropped some fire devices and some amazing features that are always taking things to the next level. We also have been in talks with Omni Labs Robotics, bringing their telecommunication devices and robots to the next level, bringing everybody closer together.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys, their telepresence that you get is very cool. If you guys don't know what telepresence is having pretty much a robot in front of you where you are remoted somewhere else, and it's like you're there physically, but not really physically. You're there through the robot. It's very cool. Make sure you guys check them out in the description below. Make sure you guys do check out that link. And also, there's this other one that we were playing with, which is very similar to Wolf Launcher, called FCD Box. People are they've been looking for different launchers. They've been looking to see what is out there and available.
You know, it's fully customizable. You can change everything from the icons to the background, not even locally. You can do it remotely as well. So it brings a whole another level of customization to your devices. If you are helping, your families and friends set them up, you're going to want to check this out and see if it's going to be able to help you, your family, your friends, all of you guys get on the next level with all the launchers on the different devices. Talking about devices and streaming and all that stuff, you also want to make sure that no matter what you do online, you stay protected. There's so many VPN services out there. We talk about it all the time. Make sure that you guys try them out. You check them out, see which ones work best for you.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys do check out those VPNs. We do have a couple of them that we recommend in the description below. So make sure you guys do get those. Just get protected, guys. So don't forget to check out the description below for all of these guys that we have shouted out today.
No matter where you guys are listening, watching, whatever from, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, that like, drop us a comment, and the reviews actually help us a great deal. If you're looking to do anything for us in this year coming and beyond, the reviews help other viewers like yourself find this podcast and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. And with all that being said, let's start the show.
Welcome back to an episode of Beyond the Streams. This is such an awkward way of starting it because the show is called Beyond the Streams because we have these conversations that are beyond what the normal people sees, like beyond YouTube, beyond in person. It's just like that raw conversations, like, before we even hit record. Just right now, what you guys were missing was a great rant about spam blockers no longer working
in the year 2077.
Yeah.
Why am I getting ads for Viagra in my inbox inside of Cyberpunk 2077 on my PS5? This is supposed to be the future.
Yeah.
Gmail solved this problem like 10 years ago. Now it's supposed to be the future. This is not realistic.
No.
Broke the realism completely of the game.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we are given an opportunity to connect with companies, people, creators on a different level where we can just be people, just hang out, have fun, not just get to know the products, but the people behind them. And it's awesome today that we get to sit down and talk with Ryan from BLENDJET. And it's so much more than just a blender. Ryan has such a great story to share about how he came up with this product.
Is that the drink? I'm making a matcha green tea latte right now with ice, 12 ice cubes, like artisanal Japanese matcha powder, makes you go konnichiwa. So good.
Konnichiwa. Hi.
Yes. I mean,
I
really
was-
delicious. I
As
haven't
soon as you
actually
showed it,
tried this exact combination, so I'm very excited.
I thought at first. So for all of our listeners out there, we got to talk to Ryan at Techfluence. The BLENDJET, their products are just incredible. They're amazing. But before we really dive into that, I am a little bit disappointed, just a tad, because you said that you were going to share this recipe that
Oh,
had
yeah.
booze in it,
Oh yeah.
and I'm still waiting for this booze
I'll give you the
recipe.
recipe. I'll give it to you. I just, let me look at my text messages with my mom because I sent it to her.
Sweet.
And I don't know if anybody has a mother who's not enjoying a little bit more of the boozy recipes right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
as good moms do.
Mhm.
Let me see. So I sent it to her. This is actually created by my neighbor. So shout out to my neighbor. He's great with drink recipes, like unbelievably good at these recipes. And he made this for my wife, who also works at BLENDJET. He calls it Sharon's Toll. And he writes these crazy stories too. So he wrote in Greek mythology, Sharon was the daemon who ferried the dead across, oh boy, the Archeon, I guess, the first of 6 rivers that separated the world from the living and the dead. His mother, Night, and his father, Darkness, were primordial gods. 2 of his sisters were Nemesis, Vengeance, and Strife. 3 of his brothers were Sleep, Old Age, and Death. Passage to the underworld required the payment of 1 obolos, a coin commonly placed in the mouth of the deceased before burial. Unpaid, some said, Sharon left the soul to aimlessly wander the earth side banks of the Archeon for 100 years. Others said for eternity. So it's a serious drink we're talking about. This is, not for mere mortals. Like, you got to be next level. So I know one of you is.
So don't do it.
So
you'll run with it.
2 ounces of white rum.
Okay.
All right. And particularly if you can find it, Europan white rum, URUAPAN. This is super important. Real coconut cream. That's a brand name. Real coconut cream. 1 ounce of that. It's like this stuff that comes in a squeeze bottle. It's like coconut syrup. It's amazing. 1 ounce of that. 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, and then 3 or 4 mint leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Ice. Blend. That's it. 4 ingredients: 2 ounces of white rum, 1 ounces of real coconut cream, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 3 to 4 mint leaves. Sharon's Toll. Best drink you've ever had in your life. One of my friends, very great taste. He and his wife, great people, very influential in the tech world. We do like little sort of pandemic, socially distanced cocktails together.
Yeah.
He's a man who's tried many fine things in his life. He tried this. He goes, I'm going to need that recipe. Can you please send that to me? So a lot of people have tried this. A lot of people have come to me and said, I need this in my life. How did you make that? So it is my favorite alcoholic beverage, and it is also my wife's favorite, and everyone that I've given it to. So hopefully for you guys, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to like it. Honestly, it's like a mojito on steroids. It's just,
I like mojitos. I make them good too. I think I want to say all those ingredients. I'm like 99% sure we have all 4 of those.
ooh, the real coconut. Speaking of my mom, she's calling now. I'm going to call her back later.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we got real coconut. Because my wife likes to make like coconut cookies, and she likes she makes certain things with it.
It's a brand, right? So real coconut cream, white bottle, squeeze bottle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure we have that. I'm 99% sure we have that.
This is good. This is really good. It's a good situation.
You never know what you're going to find when you listen to the podcast. You just got a drink recipe from BLENDJET, from Ryan from BLENDJET. Is your friend writing a story to go along with all of your mixtures, put on the back of them? Because I think it's pretty cool when they have a story or there's something to follow along with. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. A little folklore for the jetpack ready to blend smoothies, which I have over there somewhere. But I should probably say who I am. So hi, I'm Ryan Pamplin. I'm the CEO, co-founder of BLENDJET. We created the portable blender. It's very popular. You've maybe seen it under your Christmas tree recently. During the holidays, we were moving about one every 3 seconds on blendjet.com.
Jeez.
Yeah, pretty insane. Yeah, we are very passionate about not really smoothies or blenders. We're not really a smoothie company or a blender company. We're really passionate about helping people live long and healthy lives. And I think the biggest problem we all face is that, we don't have time to be healthy, and the convenient choices are hard choices. And I think that's really unfair that the convenient choices are not easy and healthy. I mean, the drive-through is easy, but that's not helping anybody. So we started BLENDJET after I had a freak accident, cracked my head open, unfortunately, nearly died, thought I was going to die. Ended up on medical leave for a year, and was kind of living on the top of the world prior to that, helping raise $100+ million for building a holographic computer and getting to know all the sort of tech luminaries. I was giving keynotes with Bob Iger and Steve Wozniak, and, got to interact with and do some work with Tim Cook. I mean, just unbelievable stuff, right? I mean, I had to pinch myself every day, be like, is this actually my life? And then I'm in a parking garage, and where I lived in downtown Oakland at the time, and my car is parking itself, Tesla autopilot parking, early days of the auto parking. So I was a little worried it was going to like hit something. So I was watching it, but I was in a rush. I was like running backwards, and I flipped around and I slammed into like one of those giant concrete pillars that holds up a skyscraper. And unfortunately, my head was not stronger than the pillar, and I didn't break the pillar, but I did get up off the ground, and I thought I slipped in oil, but that was just my own, my own blood,
Jeez.
unfortunately. So I was rushed to the hospital, and yeah, it wasn't good. It took a year to get better, 3 months of being unable to read, use a computer, think straight, talk straight. I mean, going to bed at night and like having my vision tunnel and feeling like maybe that was it, a couple times. Serious stuff. My wife was my girlfriend at the time. I had just upgraded her from Beverly Hills to Oakland. And like a month later, hey, babe, on the way to the hospital, crack my head open, meet me there. She stood by my side and really helped me. And I mean, honestly, the most I could do was like stir a pot for a while. And I did protein and smoothies every day in a blender to get better. So all I thought about was my health, right? And then at the end of that, getting out of it, sort of the company got acquired while I was gone, which was, not like something I got to be a part of, which was kind of an unfortunate thing because I was so integral to like this whole thing. It was my whole life. And then I'm just like in bed, unable to do anything. So it was bittersweet. But coming out of it, my whole thing, right? My whole thing in life was to be a successful entrepreneur, but my definition of success fundamentally changed in an instant. And the way it changed was that I thought like, okay, if I am going to die, right? How's the world going to be different when I leave, right? Is it going to be better or is it going to be worse? Or is it not going to be anything? It doesn't matter. And how is my success and my impact on the world going to be measured? Is it dollars? Is it Bitcoin? Probably not. Although I did notice that, on my Trezor and most electronics I have, you have a signature on there, rohas. Like everything. So yeah, super impressive.
Pretty much.
Your brand is.
Thanks.
But I think that, at the end of the day, impact is really going to be measured in terms of like, did other people in the world live better lives because of me? That could be a richer life because they're healthier. They have less problems they have to deal with from a physical health perspective. Because I'll tell you, until you have like a terrible physical thing that happens, you never really care about your health. You're like, yeah, health. I care. Health is so important. But then when you're like faced with your own mortality, you're just like, oh my God, like nothing matters. Take everything I have away from me everything good, take it away and just give me my health back and we're even, we're square, you know? And when you realize that that's all that actually matters, and then when you get better, you're like, okay, what really matters is my health. I'm good. So now what matters is the health of my people in my circle. And then the other thing that matters is like, if that's all good, that's all taken care of, the health of the people in the world. And that's kind of where I'm at, right? How can I spend my life helping the people out there in the world actually truly be healthier? And if I say, hey, I have a product for you that's a healthy product, it's going to make you healthier, no one's going to buy it, right? There's a subset of people who care, but the majority of people don't care. So what I'm actually doing is I'm selling something that is a brand new, exciting concept that comes in a rainbow of colors that is very convenient and it's very fun. And I never say the word health because at the end of the day, that's not what sells. And I'm not tricking people, but I am tricking people into being healthier. I'm helping people hack their way to a healthier life. And I'm doing it in a way that actually is fun. And, you know, the number one use case is lunchtime, right? And the number one use case is women at lunchtime driving through a drive-through traditionally, but now instead, you know, they're making a smoothie or a meal replacement. And I mean, the stories you hear are just so inspiring. You know, I was heavier when I was younger. I weighed when I was about 18. I went to college young, started when I was 16, dropped out when I was 18, moved to New York City when I was 18. And I made a deal with myself. I'm not moving until I get in shape. So I was like 260 almost. And I dropped down to 180. And I did that really fast. And everybody told me, oh, if you're trying to lose the weight that fast, it's not going to be healthy. You know, don't do it. You're not going to keep it off. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll take the challenge. I'll do it. I don't care if it's not healthy. I'm going to do it anyway because I feel like it's healthier long-term to be in better shape than it is to be unhealthy for 3 months and like really go to the gym too much and not eat enough calories. And, you know, I mean, look, the way I did it, I just did low calorie, highly nutritious foods. It worked. It was very simple. I did smoothies. I did protein back then too. So it's been a part of my life for a long time, but long story short, I lost a lot of weight and I've kept it off all these years, you know, more than a decade. So when I hear those kinds of stories now from customers, I'm just like, oh my God, you know, like I know how hard it is. The willpower that it takes, you know, it's tough. So if I can like figure out a way to help people actually enjoy doing something with that willpower and help them sort of develop these good habits. And I think honestly, the thing that makes this so successful, I mean, we don't just sell a lot of these things. The average customer is using it 1 or more times per day. And I think the reason that people use it so much, aside from the fact that it's kind of fun and things taste good and et cetera, I think that it just looks cool. So people leave it out. And then because they leave it out, I think it's this icon. It's sitting on their desk. It's sitting on their counter. It's sitting on their nightstand. And it kind of reminds them like, oh, I should have something delicious and nutritious today. So yeah, anyway, as a brand, you know, I think at our core, we're just not really motivated by the numbers of units sold. We're motivated by the numbers of units that are used, right? I don't want to sell something for it to sit around. That's not really that interesting to me. But, you know, on another note, I'll say that I enjoy YouTube a lot as a consumer. And as a brand, you know, we've really focused on Facebook, Instagram, you know, these other platforms, right? We have over 1 billion with a B views on our videos in the last 12 months. We've actually reached over 1 billion unique people with our videos. So 1 in 7 people in the world has watched them, which is like insane to think about.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's the reach of Facebook and Instagram. Like, wow, how impactful, right? I mean, we hear things, right, about like their influence, good and bad. But as a brand, to like come from an idea in 2017 to launching in 2018 to now being the number 1 most popular blender brand on social media, that happened because of social media, right? And part of it's influencers, but I mean, it's also the ad platform and it's the creative. And, you know, we had a really big breakthrough recently with our creative that's really hard to do. I mean, I used to run a creative agency, so I used to make TV commercials. I had a Super Bowl commercial for, you know,
Nice.
Emmy nomination, Cannes Award, stuff like that. So the brands I worked with were like household name big brands, and sometimes I could get them to do like pretty cool, crazy stuff. Like the Super Bowl ad for Speed Stick deodorant, you know, was a pretty risque ad for the time. Definitely okay for 2011, not really good for 2021. But you know, I love being really creative, but it's really hard to be creative and entertaining and also sell something. Really difficult to do that. You got to like have like the stars must align.
Mhm.
And we made this ad recently that it's just going totally viral. It already was going viral on Facebook and Instagram. It was so viral that people were posting it on TikTok, posting our ad on TikTok. Like, I don't know them. I'm
Yeah.
not on TikTok personally. I mean, I am, but I don't use it really. I don't really
Yeah.
have time, right? But I know it's an important platform. And yeah, it's an ASMR oddly satisfying ad where we blend 15 weird things like celery and you
Yeah.
know,
I've seen it.
yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
just a bunch of random stuff you throw it in there and then does its thing, and then the whole thing changes color. As soon as it changes color, it's like the next item. It's
Exactly.
pretty cool seeing that. Yeah.
But the whole time we're whispering. So the whispering is driving people crazy, and the comments are nuts. And people are saying like, you know, this is the best ad I've ever seen in my life. I'm buying one just because of the ad. And it's so interesting because if you look at other videos that we've had that have tens of millions of views, some of them have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments on one video, not on YouTube, but on Facebook or Instagram. You know, those comments are about the product. Wow, that looks like a great product. How many ounces is it? How powerful is it? How many watts is it? You know, blah, 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 right? All these great questions that people have, but they're buying questions about the product.
Mm-hmm.
With this, every question, every comment is about the ad. Whoa, that's the best ad I've ever seen. Oh my God, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? It's SpongeBob SquarePants, you know? I mean, it's amazing how like we finally like broke through this glass ceiling of just being very product focused and now have transitioned to be able to speak to people in a comedic voice. And like, I finally have an outlet for all of my dad jokes. 'Cause I'm not a dad.
I'm gonna re-listen to it now, and I'm gonna be really paying attention to what the whisper says now, because yeah, I didn't know that you guys were whispering through that commercial.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe you didn't turn on sound, which, you know, we now have the little icon flashing in
Oh
the
yeah.
corner. You turn on
Mhm.
sound, but
Yeah, I did have my sound. It was just I think what I was doing, I was just scrolling through something. I think it might have been YouTube, it might have been Facebook, something. I was scrolling through something and I saw the commercial. But typically when I'm trying to catch up with life, it's normally like around 7 p.m. I'm finally not recording videos. So I'm sitting down watching a show, watching something on TV, and then that's kind of where I'm trying to, okay, what's going on out there in the world? So I saw that, and the reason why I was actually looking for it. I ended up getting a couple messages saying, "Hey, we just saw you on a commercial." I'm like, a commercial? I was like, hold on a second, really? And I'm like, what was it?
you're famous now.
Yeah. and I'm just like, hold on a second. What was this? And they're like, it was BLENDJET. I'm like, a BLENDJET? I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Where? I'm like, and they're like, yeah. Like, you know, we've seen you've done a video before, and it looks like they grabbed a little clip of a bunch of different YouTubers and they kind of made one. And I'm like, where? I'm like, I want to see this. So I was actually on the hunt. I literally was like, you know, Big Brother's always listening.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like BLENDJET. Okay, let me open up Facebook and see if I get a BLENDJET commercial. So I ran into that one, and I'm like, huh. I'm like, I like cauliflower was one of them that you guys put in there. I'm like, I like cauliflower. I'm like, I wonder how that would taste like in a.
Don't do it.
No,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, the cauliflower is super interesting to blend, but I've tried it. It doesn't taste good.
no.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the broccoli or the spinach or the kale is actually like legit awesome, not by itself, but to mix in when you're making something delicious. You know, if you're being bad and you're doing like a chocolate milkshake, I mean, hey, you know what? Good for you. Enjoy it. But if you throw in some kale, you're not even going to notice.
You won't taste it. Yeah.
So might as well.
I've done that. I used to be on, and like you said, when there is that advertisement of this is for health, this is healthy, this is for you weight loss people, this is for you if you want to just maintain. I was on, and I like to call it that kick, where I'm like, cool, January 1st, I'm gonna get kale and berries and peppers and whatever, oranges to kill the flavor, and like pineapple. I'm like, let me just get all this stuff, put it together, and I had a lot of like really good recipes that I just on my own, just getting natural stuff and putting it together, like whatever made sense. And I started to research like, hey, what is actually people doing to make sure you stay slim. I'm about 190.
We're about the same.
Yeah. So my height, I'm about 5'8".
You
And
probably have a lot more muscle than me because I'm a little taller and we weigh about the same, but you don't look like you weigh that. So there must be some, you must win a lot of arm wrestling matches.
I used to do Spartan races.
Oh, wow.
So I used to do those, and I did it for a couple years. And so I was always on, like, trying to get some protein in, trying to throw something to blend in real quick. And it's usually, well, let me pre-blend all of this stuff. Let me pre-blend it, and then I'll put it in a little. Oh, it was one of those shakers that had that ball, that metal ball, and hopefully when you shook it, it actually mixed. So I would literally put, I had a cooler, a little baby cooler. I would put like 4 of these in there, and I'll put some ice packs. As soon as I was about to go to the race, I would down one, and then I had a little I had my camel pack, my water, and I would grab one of those, throw it in there, and then I go off and I do my race, and if I needed a quick, like, okay, I'm starting to cramp, then the one that I would throw in there had peanut butter, banana, sea salt, caramel, like, and then I threw in some kale, some broccoli. I threw a couple of vegetables in there, so I'm just okay. I can't let it be just all sugar. I need something to balance. And I would just, anytime I felt a cramp, boom, chug that, kept going, did my race. And then when I was done, then I would go to my thing and drink another one. And then on the drive, I would drink another one. This, for me, when I see a BLENDJET, like, I think this is amazing because you don't have to pre-do like almost anything. You could just have it. You could have it in like fresh, and some kind of zip ties, or like on orange, just have it, everything fresh and ready to go. And there's a difference. There's a difference from when you blend something and you drink it 3 hours from now.
Oh, yeah.
Versus peeling everything, dropping it in, blending it, and drinking it instantly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big difference. I mean, things change chemically, right? Like at a cellular level, when you blend, you're breaking up things. And from the point that you break them up, they start to deteriorate. And, when you see the color change and you see the oxidation, the oxygen is hitting those things that, have been broken down. And as a result, they're starting to decompose. And they're actually starting to do what happens when alcohol is being made. They start to ferment. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It might actually be a very enjoyable thing. But you shouldn't leave stuff that long. It's not really going to taste good, and it's not going to be as good for you. So the nutrition profile is breaking down, right? Yeah. And the fresher that the food is that you consume, the better. And if you can throw your ingredients in, we have like the insulated sleeve. You could take it all, keep it cold, throw in your water at the gym. Everybody's got water, and then boom, make your smoothie right there. Even throw in your ice. Right? Have your ice like in the insulated sleeve ready to go. So that's what I do most of the time. If I'm like headed somewhere driving, I'll throw all my ingredients in, blend in the car, drink it while, Elon is driving the car, and, trust in my life with that guy. Yeah. But he's a pretty trustworthy guy. So Actually,
So
did you hear about the new Tesla software update?
The one where you can
No.
communicate car to car.
No, is that real? Is that a thing?
I'm pretty sure that's the car connect or whatever they call it now.
What? I didn't even hear about that. I just heard about this update where now if you miss a car payment, the car drives itself back to Tesla.
Oh wow.
Oh, hell no.
No, that's a
Hell
joke. That's a joke, but it's probably going to come true.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be freaky though. That would be freaky. So okay, I got to ask you. You
Yeah.
said something that was pretty cool, and this is I'm probably gonna title this like what I'm quoting you: "Hack your health." That's it.
All right,
or hack
there it
your
is.
health. Exciting BLENDJET 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Hack your health and, Cyberpunk 2077 spam is unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. This
Yeah.
isn't real first world problems.
Yeah.
or any world problems.
It's going to be interesting when Cyberpunk 2077 has the online update. Because, like, how do you do a multiplayer RPG? I guess it becomes like an MMORPG. Is that?
Too
Is
many
that?
abbreviations for me. I can't handle it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically. I mean, they're saying they're going to come out with online, right? Online update in 2022, which sounds like a long time, but actually, it's just next year.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have online multiplayer with a game that we all want to be GTA, but it's not. So it's going to be like World of Warcraft set in a cyberpunk world.
Listen, they shouldn't be promising any new features until they fix it on all platforms first.
Yeah.
I feel bad, honestly, for the developers, right? I mean, I make a product. I know how hard it is to make a product. I mean, it's not, and it's a different thing. It's hardware versus software, but software and hardware, you're making something that doesn't exist. You're willing it into existence, and man, they're publicly traded. So they have like a lot of pressure from the market to not miss the holiday season. And if they took one more extra year, that stock price might not be too good, for the year. So I think there was just probably a lot of pressure. I don't know. I'm just making this up, but just outside perspective, I feel like they had a lot of pressure on them and they had to get it out, and it had already been delayed so much. And the developers were saying probably don't ship it. And the execs were like feeling the pressure from the public market, worried about that stock price, got to ship it out. We'll fix it later. And, I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is, but it's as much hype as it had. It should have been perfect. And that's the problem, is expectations were here.
The issue with it at this point and any point going forward, because it's always going to be known for this, is that, a lot of the stuff that you said as well was relatable. People may not always remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. And if they started the product and it had issues and they watching their influencers and their influencers are complaining about it, they're going to remember how they feel in that moment when they relate to it. Right. And I think that that's a two-part statement. People always remember how you made them feel both mentally and physically. So when you say you're not necessarily a health product, if you make them feel through your product healthier, they're going to remember you for that. And if you make them feel good because they're having fun using your product, they're definitely going to remember you for that. So I think that was something I was kind of looking at when you were explaining your whole story. We're not a health product and we're making waves and impacts on people. How does that work? Because you're understanding that in order to make an impact to change people's lives, you have to improve how they feel, both mentally and physically. I think it's awesome what you guys are doing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, and I will say, like, it is the most fulfilling thing in my life that I've ever been a part of, that I could ever imagine being a part of. I don't know how I ever top, the feeling of just pure joy that I get from, like, running into a person with my product, hearing people, talk about it, about the impact in their lives. I just feel like I'm doing more for the world than I could have ever done if I didn't have that accident. Right. So I don't, it was a really, really terrible experience to go through. It was like hell because I was in a mental incapacitated state. So I didn't really understand what was happening. So like my wits were gone, and I don't want anybody to experience it. But in hindsight, I think my passion and motivation was born from a need to overcome this feeling of regret that how could I let something so stupid happen, right? That changed my life forever. And I just wanted to do something that like outshined the badness of what had happened. And, now it's obviously a lot more than that to me, but I think that was kind of the seed that got me going.
We always need that personal connection to something to make innovation, to give it its longevity to that next level.
Next level. He loves that phrase.
I have to.
I
Rohas
like
says
it.
it every time, but I say it like 10 times a day. I just have to.
I like it. Go ahead.
It's crazy that all of that innovation came from a very personable space from you. And when we have these conversations, because we've actually met you twice at both Techfluences, because you were at both of them, right?
Yeah.
And every time I see you and I hear you talk, and I hear you talk about your product, it's not just the product, your presentation about it. It's passionate, it's well thought out, and it's like you're able to tell it in a story and answer the questions that they have before they ask it. And when I get to a point where I'm like, okay, how do like as a consumer, you're like immediately saying in your head, but can it do this? Can it do that? You're looking for the negatives in a product so you don't buy something, right? So when we first start looking at the BLENDJET, for instance, right, one of my main things is, how do I clean this thing? Right. And when you start answering all those questions and you talk about the innovation that you've been able to do with your product, you make it sound so easy. But I bet that creating the product and understanding all of those nuances of, okay, we need it to be able to be self-cleaning. We need it to be able to hold a charge. We need it to be able to blend, I don't know, 15 ice cubes in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? I don't know the exact timings, but what did that implementation of the product, because you went from, I need something that's better for me so that I can survive. How did that go from the final product? Because this is BLENDJET 2. So we had BLENDJET 1. Was there a BLENDJET 0.5, or what did that process look like?
Yeah, I mean, there was like a BLENDJET 0.1, 0.12, 0.13, and all the way up to like 100 until you get to a solid number, and then you actually release a product. Shout out to Brian, who's our VP of operations, who has, found our manufacturing partner, who's just unbelievable. I mean, they built an entire factory dedicated just to BLENDJET for BLENDJET 2. I mean, it's I feel like they're family. I feel like so much affinity to our partners and everybody that is part of our team. And Brian is a guy I've known. He's a big YouTuber. He used to be a big YouTuber in the car space. His channel is Brian Zook on YouTube, which has over 100 million views. Wow. So he's a very mysterious character. A lot of people didn't really know who he was because he never would show his face in the videos. He would do these like walkarounds of like every exotic car. And I mean, he started this when he was a kid, and he was like 12 years old, I think. And he was running down the street filming my co-founders. I think it was an M5 or M6 back in the day. And then my co-founder John gave him a ride, and they became buddies. And that's how I actually know Brian and John, is from another friend who's a car buddy. I'm not a big car guy, but I kind of used to be. And my old co-founder of a previous company was good friends with John, and then introduced me to him, and then he introduced me to Brian. So we've all known each other for a long time before this venture. And I had showed John how to do Facebook ads more than a decade ago when it was in beta, and he ended up getting really good at it and went and started his own agency, helped launch Uber, Glassdoor, Atom Tickets, a bunch of Disney movies, spent a fortune on the platform. And then when I was getting better, we reconnected because I had heard that he was doing super well, on Facebook ads. And, I'd heard he was doing things at a scale that was just like unbelievable and working with these big brands. And I was super impressed. I was so happy for him. And I was just starting to be able to talk to people again and kind of get back into like trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And, he said, "Hey, what are you going to do next?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to work with you," on a whim, right? I had no plan to say that. I just said it. And actually my wife, like thinking back, my wife planted the seed in my head because I told her about John and she was super impressed. She said, "We got to work with that guy." You know, like that guy is, you know, his doors go like this.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, yeah, you're right. So when I talked to him, I just kind of blurted it out. And then, you know, we talked about sort of health and how important that is. And he said, you know, I do protein and smoothies every day. And if there's a way I could just snap my fingers and have a smoothie or protein instantly every day, you know, that would be amazing, because I hate doing it so much. I go to Jamba Juice and pay $7 every day. Ding, light bulb. What if we could build a portable blender? Would that be compelling to you? Oh my God. Yeah, but that's not possible, is it? I'm pretty sure if we could build a holographic computer, I'm pretty darn sure we can build, you know, a portable blender, right? That seems pretty straightforward. It's not. It's not that straightforward, but the being naive can pay off sometimes. And I think the big problem is, how do you get enough power to make it not suck? That's the real challenge. And that's the big engineering sort of challenge we had to overcome. And that's the big difference between the first gen and the second gen. Is first gen, we're not trying to compete with big blenders. You know, we're just saying, hey, you want to make a smoothie on the go? You want to blend up your protein powder, throw in a banana, maybe a couple ice cubes, you're good to go. But now it's like, your Vitamix, you know, you don't really need it anymore, according to the comments, right? Like Forbes said, all the other blenders look like dinosaurs compared to BLENDJET 2. I mean, that warms my heart, because I guess it really makes me realize that BLENDJET's an asteroid, and they're all dinosaurs, so they're in trouble.
Love that analogy.
I do too. Yeah, I love that one. Forbes inspired that, you know, because they said that, and then I was like, what goes with dinosaurs? Asteroids.
Yep.
But I think it is crazy, because you look back at the form factor of blenders. 1922 is the first blender I could find. And it's got a big clunky base. It's got a big clunky jar. It has a big rubber lid. Last time I checked, that's what blenders look like, you know? And it's crazy, because every other category, everything has evolved so much, right? I mean, let's look at products from 100 years ago, like the Model T. Yeah, the Tesla looks a little different than the Model T. Like, it doesn't have the wind-up feature anymore. You know, they've changed some things. So I think that's kind of, you know, looking at it, it just feels like everybody's kind of dropped the ball in the world of blenders, right? And I mean, we have patents, so many patents now on our technology, you know, because we put millions of dollars into the research and development, right? So we have like 50 plus patents filed on all of this stuff, including on the core concept of a portable blender and on our turbojet technology. I mean, that was like one of the biggest breakthroughs with BLENDJET 2. So I think I've told you guys about this before, but, you know, if you take this off, of course, safety feature, it won't turn on, you know, when you take the jar off. So you don't have to worry. But if you notice, the blade is not in the middle. So from the front, you know, it's set towards the back. And what that does is it creates a tornado. So instead of a whirlpool, you get a tornado, and that slams the particulates against the back wall of the jar 275 times per second. So it's essentially, instead of just the surface of the blade blending, it's boom, 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 boom against the back wall. And that is, you know, that's it, right? That is a game changer. That's how you get a smoothie that resembles, you know, a Frappuccino from Starbucks with 12 ice cubes in 20 seconds in a thing that you can now make 15 times without recharging with any, of course, standard USB-C port, which I really enjoy, because, you know, I don't want to have to pay too much attention. I just want to plug it in. I don't want to worry about which direction it's plugged in. And if I forget the charger, I want to just use my MacBook charger or my iPad charger, or, you know, if you're like Rohas, an Android phone charger, which, you know, they're all USB-C. I'll give it to you. You know, I wish my iPhone was USB-C.
I was waiting for it.
I wish. And, you know, if Europe has their way, it will be someday.
Yep.
I don't know. The rumors say that the charging port is completely disappearing. So I don't know.
I know. And I got the new charger. I got the Apple official case, and this is like the MagSafe.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I have the Belkin thing that is like sold out everywhere. I ordered it like the second it came out. And it's like it's called the Valet stand. And it like holds this with a magnet, and it can rotate 360. And it also does the watch, and it's nice. I like it. Cool. Yeah, it's really a nice feature. I mean, this is not new. If you guys remember Moto, whatever it was called, Moto
Hello,
Mods.
Moto. Yep.
Oh yeah, hello Moto. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that ringtone.
Me too.
By the way, what happened to ringtones? Can we bring them back?
Yeah.
Can we have ringtones again? That was fun. I
Yeah.
miss them. I miss being in the middle of a movie. Movie.
Yep.
And hearing yeah, I miss movies. I miss ringtones. I actually miss other humans. I miss feeling, a hand, a shake. I will say though, I'm not like a germaphobe, but I kind of was always like a little germ conscious. So I noticed that like after conferences, it would be pretty common that I would get sick. And I don't usually get sick. So I stopped like shaking hands at conferences when I was like in my late teens, and I started doing fist bumps, and I would do the explosion. And that became like my signature thing. And you talk about memories and people remembering you and remembering things. I'm sure people have no idea what we talked about in those conversations, but I guarantee you that out of my many thousands of LinkedIn connections, they probably remember the exploding fist bump.
Well, whenever we do get to meet, well, you and me are both in California.
We are.
So whenever all this nonsense is done, for sure we gotta get together and do something.
Absolutely.
Whenever we all can meet, maybe hopefully at a convention or something somewhere, that has to be the first thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. First thing, last thing. It's gonna be great.
Bring it in.
We're gonna bring it in, and then we're gonna bring it back, and everybody's gonna do it. It's gonna be a whole trend all over TikTok. Fist bumps for everything.
The first time that Techfluence is in person, we're gonna be there for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no question.
For sure. Yeah. So, man, I can't believe we're already almost 45 minutes in. It's crazy, and we really appreciate you coming onto the show and talking.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great. So, if you can, this is like the part of the show where we always give our guests any last words that you would like to say. Where's the best place that they can find you? Where can they find your products? If you can give them some content and some guidance of where they can get cool product.
For sure. Well, blendjet.com. That's where you go. BLENDJET.com. And I'm going to make a code. I'm going to make a code for all the Rohas viewers and followers. Rohas 12. If you use that code, you get 12% off. Why not hook it up? BLENDJET.com is great for getting, one of 16 colors of BLENDJET 2 or our jetpacks or ready to blend smooth. Those are our ready to blend smoothies or our insulated sleeve or our cookbook or anything. And honestly, 30-day money back guarantee. You don't like it? No problem. You have your money back. That doesn't really happen, fortunately, which is why we can offer it. But, I think we really care, right? We care deeply about our customers and really want to make people delighted and happy. And we listen, we really listen to feedback. I mean, we care deeply. That's how we know what to do, honestly. I mean, I have my intuition on what we should do, but, BLENDJET 2 is the next gen blender. BLENDJET 3 maybe will be the next level blender. Who knows?
That's right. You got to take everything to the next level. You got to take everything. It's funny because Rohas is always like, next level. You're always going through like something. You're always going through some kind of struggle with some kind of tech or whatever. But I always tell him if there wasn't that next level to get to, then what's the point?
That's right.
I have to face something. I have to get through some kind of challenge in order to get to that next level. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be next level. It's just that simple.
Speaking of next level, you guys are tech reviewers. I don't know if you've reviewed this, but I haven't built a PC in a long time. I have at various points, I actually built like a giant Bitcoin mining operation years ago with like thousands of GPUs. So I have done PC building in my adult life, but not for like personal use. But, we use Keyshot, which is great software for rendering, the renders of BLENDJET like on the box. And we're doing video renders and we need more processing power. That 5950X, oh my God. I used AMD back like in the Athlon 1400 days when it was like, whoa, we broke a gigahertz.
You have a 5950X?
I am trying to get one.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, how the hell did you get that?
No. I'm trying. Trust me, I'm trying. But
We're-
I have the
We're both
motherboard
running
for it.
Ryzen 9s in our PCs.
Yeah, what are you running? 5900s or what are you
No,
running?
I still got the 30. I got the 39.
Okay, 39. Yeah. I was about to buy one the other day. I haven't done research in a while, but the benchmarks from CG Director on the render time from the 5950X, it is unbelievable. Like Intel is so screwed. Apple M1 and AMD is beating you. AMD is supposed to be like the crap. Like it's not supposed to be good. It's supposed to be the value brand for people that can't afford Intel. Now it's the value brand. And what is Intel? I don't even know. I like Intel. I like Intel. I mean, I've always been an Intel guy, except when I was younger and couldn't afford it. And then, I found the AMDs when I was younger to be pretty unreliable compared to the Intel chips. Like one time I forgot to put my CPU fan back on after I installed the CPU and I turned it on and it just went and it just burned. I just watched it boil. The chip just boiled right off in like 3 seconds. And I was a kid, so I didn't have any money. So I was like, oh my God, I just broke my computer. And, I had to get a new one and it wasn't great. But man, things have changed. And also that 3090, oh my God. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also like, what do I do? Do I buy a car or do I buy a computer? That's kind of the choice now. These things have gotten pricey. But I hear the reason that the prices are so high is because of the tariffs. So I am hearing, what do I know? But I'm hearing from some people that maybe in a couple weeks, things might change with the tariffs. And if that happens, that could be really good for GPU and CPU prices.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I do have to ask, instead of rohas 12, can we do beyond 12?
Beyond 12. Beyond 12.
Beyond 12. There we go.
Beyond 12. By the way, crazy story. There was a container ship coming over from the other side of the world, bringing lots of goods from one side of the world to the other. And container ships, that's how everything gets from one place to another. This stuff doesn't come on planes. And that container ship had BLENDJETs on it. And it also had AMD 5950Xs. True story.
Jeez.
And here's what happened. The reason there's no 5950Xs is because the containers on that ship got stuck in really bad waters, unpredicted weather, and a large number of containers, about 10% of the containers, fell overboard.
Wow.
And the other ones ended up like on their side, flipped over. And that cargo was supposed to be delivered in December. That cargo still has not been delivered yet. And the insurance company just finished taking inventory of everything that fell off. So that's why there's delays on CPUs. That's why there's delays. I'm sure there's other reasons too. But that's also, for us, that was terrible. We lost, the ability to sell a bunch of BLENDJETs during the holidays that we wish we would have had. It's the worst maritime accident in modern history.
Wow.
It's terrible. Like in terms of container ships. So little fact that probably is totally useless information. But for those of you who are refreshing on Amazon every 3 seconds or B&H or, Best Buy, the reason that you haven't scored the processor you want is probably due to that. But I think it'll be good soon. The next containers, should be coming in. I'm kind of saying that I want to will it into being existence because I got a motherboard with an empty CPU slot right now. So I need it.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need any help, you got 2 guys here that know a lot of stuff about PCs.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Again, thank you. Thank you for coming. Really do appreciate everything. Everybody that's out there listening, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Make sure you guys do leave us a review. Make sure you guys leave us a comment. Hit the thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribing or following us or wherever you're at. Make sure you do leave us some sort of something so we know you're out there. And to use the code BEYOND12 to get 12% off BLENDJET. So go to blendjet.com. We got you guys all hooked up. Once again, want to thank Ryan. Big shout out to BLENDJET and the team. You guys are doing amazing.
Thank you.
behalf of Next Level myself, again, we appreciate you. With all that being said, stay tuned to the next episode, and we'll see you guys soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a happy and healthy 2021.
Cheers.